Seeking Sister Wives fans. We are going to talk about episode number 10 right now. And so I don't forget, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. It is the week of Thanksgiving. May you have a day of lots of food and fellowship with your family and being thankful and grateful for everything that you're given in life. There you go. Let's talk Seeking Sister Wives. All right, I'm going to try to do this really quick because I got to get up early in the morning for a doctor's appointment. Okay, it's already after 10. The episode opened up with Reese and Billie Jean. So let's just talk all Reese and Billie Jean from the episode right now, okay? They go to a bar. They're going to meet, what's her name? Randy. They're going to meet Randy to have a conversation about the relationship together. Now, Reese said it's our second date, but it's, I guess, the second time really of Billie Jean meeting her, because just on the grass the other day, he said they've been on a couple dates and she said, I feel like I'm out of the loop and I need to be a part of it. So Reese has gone on more dates with Randy. Billie Jean's feeling left out, so this is a time for them all to get together again. All right. They're all very excited, so they go to the bar. First, it's just Billie Jean and Reese there. So at the bar, they decide to order shots, which shocked me. Reese does not strike me as a shot kind of guy. And he gets a shot of tequila. I'm like, way to go, Reese. And then Billie Jean orders a shot of whiskey. She manned up. She still wears the pants. I'll see your tequila and I'll raise you a whiskey. So right away, basically, Reese dismisses himself and he's not there for the whole conversation. He just looks like he's like, peace out, I don't like confrontation. Because at the very beginning, Randy said, you know, Billie Jean, I got this vibe from you that you might not really want to be going through with all of this. Billie Jean's like, me? You got it from me? She's like, yeah, I was going to just walk away after our last date because I really got the sense that you're not so sure about this whole polygamy thing. So that's when Reese was like, deuces, and the two of them continued to talk. It was a really good conversation. They were both very mature about it. They were very adult about it. Billie Jean expressed that her biggest concern is that Reese will fall in love with her and divorce Billie Jean and run off with Randy. Randy said her concern is that she's always going to be second fiddle, second wife, second in importance, and Billie's always going to be put up on the pedestal, the number one wife. She's not going to be. They both saw each other's point of view. They both agreed that it makes sense that they both have those feelings, and they agreed to continue to work on them and have open lines of communication. Just talking through things seems amazing, doesn't it? Most polygamists don't know this skill. Afterwards, when they're interviewing Randy, Randy's like, I'm really excited that we're moving forward. And I just really like Reese. And I just think he's really cute. And he keeps getting cuter. I think this might just work out with them. If Billie Jean can get over her jealousy, and if she really, truly does want to have a sister wife, there's no better person than this Randy girl. She is like Billie Jean. In fact, she actually seems to be more Reese's type than Billie Jean. Seems to be a little bit more fun, easygoing, lighthearted.
But what do I know?
She might be a little bit shorter, so she might be closer to Reese's height. Like, there's a lot of things. I don't know. It's hard to say who's prettier than the other one, but Billie Jean has a little bit more of kind of a manly edge to her, whereas this girl's a little bit softer, so Reese might be attracted to that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Reese is attracted to, quite frankly, so there's that. But that was the end. That was the end of that storyline for this episode. It was nice and it was exciting, and Reese is still my favorite. What's next? Danny and Yesel, which one of our sister friends, well, we're not on the Sister Wives channel, one of our viewers shared, instead of Yesel, he should be Yesel, because he is acting like a yeshole. So Yesel and Danny, okay, he's back and he just says horrible things. They're trying to have a conversation over the fact that their chick is gone because Danny has a hard line that the other person cannot have a child. Danny desperately wants to have more children. She cannot. Yesel wants to have more kids. Knowing that she can't give him more kids and that he would have another child with somebody else is devastating to her. Somehow, Yesel doesn't get this still. And both of them are to blame because neither one of them mentioned this to Jackie when they brought her into this relationship. They decided to wait, I don't know how many months, and then go, oh, by the way, you can't have any more kids with my husband. But I will say that in the interview when she was leaving, Jackie mentioned that she doesn't know where this is coming from. And if Danny's making this up because her conversations with Yesel talk about future children. So Yesel dropped the ball again. But by the end of this conversation, they agree that Danny dropped the ball on this one. Manipulator Yesel. Boy, He's the worst. This was not Danny's fault. It's both of them equally. Neither one of them. And if Yesel, on top of the fact that he didn't mention to her that Danny doesn't want another woman to have a child with her husband, that never came up. And yet Yesel is egging her on, Jackie, and talking about what life would be like if they had kids. Wrong. He's the worst. Danny needs to go back and watch the interview and that exit interview with her and see what she says and then confront Yeshole. I better just call him Yesel because I'm afraid it might get flagged if they think I am actually saying the other word. Okay. Danny goes on to say that she was worried about talking to Yesel about this after he got home. By the way, the scene with him coming home really was cute. The boys were so excited to see him. She was excited to see him. He was excited to see his boys, and he was excited to see Danny. It was a lovely homecoming scene on the front lawn of their house. Okay. Then when the boys are down for bed, well, first, before the boys can go down for bed, Danny's making him dinner and he's like, this is great. I think I'll eat all of this. I don't know what you're going to have. She's like, I worked hard on that all day. I didn't have any help. Well, you could have help. Yeah, could have. Jackie. I know. I screwed that up. And she goes in the interview and says how disappointed she is in herself because she knows she let down Yesel. It's just, she teared up enough in this episode that I'm thinking she really, really, really does have very, very low self-esteem. And she lets Yesel call the shots. And it's sad. Yesel actually says to her, it sucked that this happened while I was away. You really botched that one, huh? That's a quote from Yesel. In case anyone is thinking, maybe he's an okay guy. So then they're at the fire pit outside and Yesel is talking to Danny. He's like, can you tell me exactly what happened? Who said what? What did she say? And Danny reiterates how it went down. Danny says that Jackie had a difficult time with the fact that Danny was calling the shots and she felt like Danny was in charge and she was making the rules. Well, yeah, it's her relationship. It's her marriage with Yesel. They get to make the rules. You're the side piece coming in right now, Missy. And when she had a difficult time with it, Danny said, well, that was a Jackie problem. And Yesel's like, no, that's not a Jackie problem. Oh, yes, it is, Yesel. It's really a you problem, Yesel, but I won't go there. He's like, it's an all of us problem. Whatever. Welcome to the world of Cody Brown, where you're completely responsible and culpable for something that's happened, but you're going to say, we all share in the responsibility. Then she goes on to say to Yesel, do you think you can have a life where you don't have any more biological children? And he thinks about it for a second and he's like, yeah, no, I can do that. I can do that. Now, we're not talking about adopting kids, which I find odd. She wants to have children so bad. Start fostering, go to orphanages, I don't know, and find a little girl because that's what she really wanted. Find a little girl who needs a home and adopt her and give her a home. No. Of course, the people in the chat, as we were doing it live, they're like, she can't handle the 2 kids she has. Foster, adopt, are you kidding? I'm like, that's true. Her excuse why she needs, she's literally saying, I'm sorry that I didn't make enough for dinner, but like I got these 2 kids here. Her house is immaculate, by the way, and she does have a house cleaner. But clearly the house cleaner is a house cleaner / maid, or she has plenty of time to clean up and organize because there's not a thing out of place. And at one point, one of the kids had a plastic bag that had plastic knives in it, and he was walking and he dumped it because he's, all of maybe 18 months old. What do? You drop things and you look at things. So the knives fell out of the bag. And she's like, oh, see why I need a sister wife? Answer, no.
It's not that big of a deal.
That is like a typical 5 minutes in my life when I was raising 3 kids. Oh my goodness. There's a mess happening here. There's a mess happening there. As you're cleaning this one up, another mess is happening over there. Like it is like putting out fires.
That happens.
Daily.
Can handle these kids. I understand that it's got to be difficult to have twins, but on the flip side, in some ways it's more difficult not to, because I remember when I had my 2 kids, my first 2, they were like 22 months apart, 23 months apart. They're basically 2 years apart from each other. So now you had 2 kids, they're both napping. They're both in diapers, but different size diapers, so you can't use the same ones, and different nap times and different lengths of time for napping, and they eat different foods. In some ways, it would be easier if they both eat baby food, or they both eat this certain kind of food, and they both drink from a bottle, and they both nap at the same time. So they're like, okay, nap time. They take them both up, read them stories, and they both go to bed. Somehow that never happened at my house because everybody was on different schedules all the time. It's just sort of like 10 more minutes and then this thing changes, and then 10 minutes before this one needs that. And at the same time, I cleaned my own house and I cooked my own food and I ran a business at the same time. So I'm just finding it difficult to find the sympathy with her in her beautiful little home, saying she needs help. Therefore, she's going to find a woman to sleep with her husband. And it makes no sense that she couldn't make more food. She made all the food. She had all the components to it. She just didn't make enough for 2 people, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. This is a weird storyline, and I keep vacillating back and forth whether it's true or not true. And now I'm on the not true bandwagon again because yes, I'll flip so quickly from, I want to have more kids. And then when she is upset and says, well, yeah, but I can't give you more kids and it'll devastate me to see another woman do it. Can you live with not having any more biological children? He's like, yeah. All right. So this whole conversation was just a setup. Annoying. I will say Danny had a good quote. I liked it. I wrote it down. She said, being quiet because she's quiet. She doesn't speak up. She doesn't share her opinions on things. And we see that a lot in their conversations. She wants to say something and she starts and she stops herself. She's like, yeah, but okay. And he accepts that. He doesn't say, Danny, tell me what you're thinking. It's a mess. She said, being quiet doesn't work because emotions are very loud. It's going to come out one way or another. Do you have it come out through your emotions? A lot more volatility that way and a lot more problems. Just speak up. We had a very short scene with, we don't even have Garrick, but Garrick's wife, Danny, and their sister wife, Lorena. Yes, Lorena. They're in the house and Danny has a camera that she's recording herself. So this was not a film day. She's recording herself, helping Lorena take a pregnancy test, explaining 1 means positive, 2 means negative. She's speaking in a little bit of Portuguese. So she learned some of the words she needed to say, like how to say pregnant and a few other words. She could say 1, 2, and pregnant anyway in Portuguese, which is way more than we've seen her speak. Normally it's house, free. It's her Portuguese. Portuguese, Portuglish, would that be like Spanglish, Portuglish? Anyway, we do know in real time, Lorena had gotten pregnant and she's already had the baby. So it's very likely that this is the pregnancy test where she's pregnant. But that's all we saw. We'll see the rest next week. The Davis family is talking about Teresa. They're talking about how disruptive it is to their family, that she is so insecure and needs so much reassurance. And whenever there's a conflict or a confrontation or just a discussion and it's difficult for her, she always picks up, leaves, walks away, leaves the house, gets in the car, just drives away, comes back, and then talks to everybody like nothing's ever happened. Everything is good. And they're like, we just can't do this anymore. This is rough. At the end of the clip, they decide we're going to have to let her know unless things change, this is it. We're done. And the whole conversation made it seem like it is done. So it was kind of a weird ending like that. I don't know, maybe TLC did that as a teaser and told them to say that, but they're done with her. And we find out that she had been there for like 5 months. No, it was more than that. I think it was 8 or 9 months. Let me look. Yes. 8 or 9 months of reassuring her and telling her she's okay. She's got a lot of work to do on herself. So, and then we saw the preview for the next episode and they've got 4 boxes of her stuff all packed up and in the garage and she's coming to pick it up. So it's over. And finally, we have Angelica and Matt. This was the scene I was so looking forward to and it did not disappoint. Angelica is meeting with her sister who already knows about her polygamous lifestyle, but she's the only one that does. Also, 2 aunts and her mother. And she tells them about what's happened for the past 3 years. They're shocked. They're like, what? And the aunt is the best. She's like, what? I mean, she is so expressive. It's amazing. It's very funny. It's a hoot. Not funny, haha, like she's trying to make a joke. Like this woman truly is beside herself that Angelica is even entertaining the idea of doing this. But then she finds out it's been going on for 3 years. They don't get it. I understand that they don't get it. I'm not sure I still get it. This was the interesting part. I mentioned this in the live stream when we were watching it. So go back and watch the show if you want to. But there was a point. Where is it? I got to find the exact thing that they said. There's a lot going on because right now the aunt is saying, are you guys swingers? Oh, hell no. I don't get this. Like she's got a lot to say. And the mom says to Angelica, right after Angelica said, well, Matt has a girlfriend, because she's trying to explain the relationship of the 3 of them. She's like, Matt has a girlfriend. The mom says, and do you have a girlfriend? And Angelica, I'm not kidding, turns and looks at her mom and she just goes like this. Wouldn't you think if you were straight and somebody said, "Is that your girlfriend?" You'd be like, no. Mm-mm. Makes me wonder if there was something going on with Shanae and Angelica as well. Maybe the three of them together, possibly. I don't know if it was just Shanae and Angelica together, but I feel like Angelica may have been down for a threesome. I don't know. And possibly Angelica caught some feelings during that. And understandably, the aunt and the mom are completely confused. The one in particular. The other one didn't say anything. The sister didn't say anything. This one aunt and the mom are the ones that were doing all the talking and were flabbergasted by all this. Angelica describes them as judgmental and opinionated. Opinionated, I get. Judgmental, I would say it's more concern, especially because it ended with them saying, "I love you, Angelica." And I didn't write down the other thing that the mom said, but like, "I'm here for you. I support you." I didn't write it down. But they had kind words to say at the end. And then you cut at the very end to Angelica's talking head that's like, "See, this is why. I knew I shouldn't have said anything. This is why I need a sister wife. I really need Shanae back." She's convinced they don't have her back at all. They're reacting like this because they love her. If they didn't care about her, they would be like, whatever. I don't agree with Angelica's interpretation of her mom and her aunt and maybe everybody else. Obviously, she knows them more than I do, but this to me looked like a room of love and concern is what it looked like. I don't know that I would even be that tame. If I'd be like, what? Wait, I don't understand. Explain it again. Wait, I don't understand. And they asked the questions that we kept asking. Why can't you just get a friend? Why are you finding somebody to sleep with your husband? Find a friend. I don't understand. And then when Angelica explains to him, well, you don't have to worry about any of this anymore because Shanae broke up with us. They were like, great, which is not what Angelica wanted to hear. She's like, I'm just really going to miss the friendship with Shanae. And both the mom and the aunt are like, okay, you don't have to. She's your friend. That's fine. The aunt's like, she can be your best friend in the world. There's no reason she can't be your friend. That doesn't mean she has to sleep with your husband. Oh my, how many times have we said that? Has she not come up with an explanation to explain why it needs to be a sister wife friend and why she can't continue to be really good friends, maybe even best friends with Shanae if Shanae chooses not to sleep with her husband? Something's up. And the fact that Shanae said in the preview to next episode, the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of me making the decision to go is finding out that you went on the date with Matt with the other woman, but you didn't tell me. Well, there you go. Communication. The worst with 90% of polygamous families. Reese and Billie Jean are doing an okay job. Other than that, none of them. None of them. None. Not on sister wives, not on seeking sister wives. No. The worst communicators. They're all the poster children for bad communication. When all this commotion was going on and the mom and the aunt were like, I don't understand this. I don't get it. Are you swingers? Oh, hell no. This is not happening. And they're like turning around going, I can't with this. The mom says at one point, I guarantee that his dick is not that good. And then she goes on to say, or maybe the aunt said, but right after they said, somebody said, he doesn't even have that much money. They were like, bye-bye, Matt. Kick Matt to the curb.
Agreed.
Because they're convinced that Angelica is trying to please Matt and make Matt happy. And that's why she's doing this. And I agree with them. They just found out about this 2 seconds ago, but they know Angelica well. I like these women. I hope they're on every episode. They speak truth. Anything else? Oh, Angelica at the very end shares the reason why she's telling them is because Shanae has left and she needs a support system. That's the reason that she had this whole sister-wife relationship with them, because she needed a support system. At which point the mom is like, what about us? What about our family? What do you mean support system? Your sister lives across the street from you, Angelica. Oh, this is new news. I didn't know this. Then the mom goes on to say, and I live around the corner. Oh, mom, everyone's right there. She needs a support system from a girl who's going to come sleep with her husband, take her husband out of the house and go to a hotel and sleep with them. And then that girl is going to leave and go across town where they can't find time to ever see her. Because apparently an hour away is like the other side of the world for Rhode Island. You need a passport to get to the other side of Rhode Island, I guess. So yeah, she's got a support system and a family right there. Now, she calls them all judgmental. I think that they're opinionated. Yes. That's the other word she used. I agree with that. Judgmental. I mean, there are times in life where it is your place to speak up. You want to call it judgmental, fine. I call it speaking the truth out of love. I don't know if they really did it with a really loving tone. That was the problem. But Angelica at the end was like ready to throw up her hands. She says in the interview, and this is why, their reaction is why they're not my support system. I absolutely need Shanae back. So sad. I pray that now that her family is aware of the whole situation with Shanae, which she had to tell them because they're going to be on the show, but now I'm praying that they can start to see all the needy holes that Angelica has in her life and they can try to fill them in such a way that she doesn't feel the need to find somebody to sleep with her husband anymore. That's my prayer. And that's the end of the episode. I'll see you next Monday night when we talk about it again. Bye, friends.